Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I know it has been quite some time since I last posted a video and I do apologize. The last 2 weeks have been super busy for me. If you guys follow me on Instagram stories, you may have an idea. The week before last, I had my very first litter of foster puppies, which was a total amazing experience. If you guys are interested, I actually saved an entire highlight reel for them just for my own sake so I could go back and look at pictures nonstop. They were so cute and so much fun. If you guys are interested in fostering or adopting and you're in the Houston area, I will leave some helpful links down below. It's definitely a very rewarding and very fun experience. And then after that, I woke up with a massive sty on my right eye, so I really couldn't film anything. It was just like Quasimodo vibes. It was not good and it was painful. Many of y'all were super helpful and DM'd me some home remedies. I did end up trying some of them. I basically just had to wait it out for like 4 to 5 days and then it finally went away. I know, excuses, but honestly with that sty on my eye, there wasn't really any time to pre-film because I didn't really want to be packing on any product onto my eye when it was already like, ugh, and it just wasn't a good look. Also, I've mentioned before, my family doesn't live here in the same state, so whenever they visit, I really just want to disconnect and spend as much time I can with them, so that's where I've been. I've definitely missed y'all. I hope you've missed me. I thought today it would be fun to just kind of sit down and play with new makeup and get ready with y'all. I really like watching YouTube or Netflix as I get ready, so maybe we can get ready together today. If you guys are interested in checking out this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. I actually shared this palette on Instagram last night. It's basically like a glitter snow globe in the packaging. It's amazing, just like purple and gold and just everything girly and beautiful. I absolutely love it. Here on this side, you have 4 matte shades, 2 metallics, and then here on the top you have 3 of their new glitter shadows. So these 3 on the top go on with any sort of glitter glue. You just kind of like pack them right onto your lids. I've been wearing this palette for about the last week now. I received it as PR about a week ago, and that day I opened it and I slapped it on my eyes just because I've really been into these really pretty kind of like smoky plums, and I always love a good like rosy mauve shade. So for eyeshadow primer, I think I'm actually just gonna go in with this. I don't have a new shadow primer. I've had this for forever now. I think this is probably like the 2nd or 3rd one that I went through. I believe Tarte discontinued. I can't remember if it's this one or the pencil, but this is the Colored Clay CC Under Eye Corrector. I do have a lot of discoloration on my lids. I just have this like sallow orange type of color. So I like to just go in and pat some of this just to create a really nice clean slate. Plus it kind of brings some light and lift to my brow just when it's clean under there. I just like the look of that. So I'm going in with a Sigma. I always forget the name of this one because the name is completely rubbed off. It's either like E40 or E60. And I'm starting off with the shade Whirlwind. And then I'm also going to take the lighter mauve pink in here called Comet. So while I did just complain about having like peachy tones on my eyes, I'm going back in and adding a peachy tone on my eyes. But it's lower down, so that's okay. So I'm using this first to kind of create a softer transition shade. Like I'm going to take this a little bit higher than what I will with Comet. Okay, so there is Whirlwind. Now going in with a Morphe M502. I went to the Galleria while my mom and aunt were here. I had no idea that there was a Morphe store at the Galleria. I don't go there that often just because during the week, like if you go earlier this school day, it's not bad. It's pretty much like ghost town, but I don't really like going to the Galleria by myself, to be honest. I don't mind smaller stores, but I'm one of those weirdos where you read these articles about sex trafficking and then that's all I have in my mind. Not that I'm saying like people are over there like pinpointing me like, oh yeah, I want her. But yeah, that just freaks me out, especially with the bigger parking garages and stuff. I just get very paranoid. I know. I do carry a knife in my purse and pepper spray. And I do always hold them while I'm walking to the parking garage. So if any creepers are watching, just know that I am prepared. It was fun being able to see like brushes in person. I've mentioned this before, I'm not really crazy about Morphe palettes. I've used a couple in the past and none of them really wowed me. I honestly prefer the quality of like the ColourPop single shadows, so I just never really messed with the Morphe ones too much, but I did like seeing and being able to touch all the brushes in person, so I did pick up a couple. I'm pretty sure I already have like 2 of these already, but I love it. This is the Morphe M502. It's a little bit denser than the Sigma one that I was using, but I just really like it for both packing on color and kind of blending in to my crease. This is the same brush that I've been using nonstop with this palette. That's why it looks filthy. It was clean about 4 days ago, but I keep using it for this palette. This is just a MAC 217. I'm going to go in with the shade Interstellar. I know so many people are like, ew, I don't like shimmery shades in the crease. I used to be one of those people, but something about this color, it just looks so, so pretty in the crease. I don't mind that bit of shimmer. Like, it's not overly glittery. It just has this beautiful bronzy sheen. So I like to get this brush and just kind of press it right at the top of my socket. And I'll concentrate this more here first, and then I'll begin blending it out. I guess I could zoom it in a bit. It has a bit of like a coppery tone to it, so I just feel like it really kind of enhances my brown eyes. Anything that's like plum or mauvey with brown eyes I think is so, so pretty. Everything on blue and green eyes looks great. So whenever you find like a good shade that really works to make brown eyes pop, I get excited. I'm gonna go in with the shades Stargazer and Jupiter. Both of these are mattes, and I'm just gonna use the same brush, pick up some of those, and kind of concentrate this more right in the outer corner. I am gonna blend over some of Interstellar, but not all of it. Okay, I've kind of been leaving this intersection. I feel like that's what I always do with my eyes because I just feel like it's the most flattering. But today I think we are gonna go in and add some of Stargazer and Jupiter to the inner corner as well. I don't like to do this all the time because sometimes my eyes get super watery. That's another reason I didn't really get to pre-film much, is because I woke up with a massive sty on my eye. It was huge. I woke up and I was like, wow, this is what it feels like to not have hooded lids. There was so much space where I could put on eyeshadow, but obviously I didn't really want to go in and mess with it anymore because it already looked pretty rough. Now I'm just gonna take any random kind of like concealer. This is from Catrice. It's their Retouch Brightening Pen. It's kind of like a light pinky toned lavender. And I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of that and press it right into the center part of my lids and lightly kind of blend it to the outer edges. Okay, so all three shades are beautiful, but Firestorm is definitely my favorite. It has this really pretty kind of like red brick rusty base. So just taking my finger, I'm gonna dip right into it. The texture is interesting. It's not like as densely packed as a typical eyeshadow, but it's not as squishy as ColourPop either. It has like a very slight, just like mush to it. That's such a bad way to describe it, but it's the best I can do. Okay, so then just taking my finger, I'm just going to begin patting this right in. And as you can see, there's no fallout from the glitter. It just presses right on. I love that you don't have to use any sort of glitter glue or anything like that. You just tap the glitter where you want it. Okay, moving on to primer. I don't think this one is that new, but I haven't tried it yet. This is from Huda Beauty. It's their Complexion Perfection Pre-Makeup Base. So there's this version that is supposed to be more hydrating and dewy, which I love. And then there is a matte version as well. So here is the packaging. It does have a pump. It actually comes out like a thicker cream. The consistency kind of reminds me of the Bobbi Brown makeup moisturizer that comes like in the glass jar. Oh, it's a lot thicker than I thought. It does have a bit of a greasy slip to it, not like overly oily, but it is like a heavier type of moisturizer feel. It kind of smells like Lubriderm lotion, to be honest, but just thicker. And I just got a whole bunch of it in my eyelashes. And then just to add additional luminosity to my skin, I have been loving these. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Glow Highlighter. There's 4 different shades. This one is in Free. There's a really pretty bronzy one, kind of like a light blush, and then a pearl. This has a pump as well, which looks very shameful at the moment. I'm usually good about keeping pumps clean, so that's embarrassing. So I'm actually, you know what, instead of getting on my fingers, I'm just going to do little tiny dots. I don't really like to add any of this on my nose, but I do like it on my cheeks and other areas of my face. So I'm just gonna go in and pat this in. If I had to think of a drugstore dupe, I feel like the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion is pretty similar to these. This one has a little bit of a thicker texture, but the glow that it provides is almost identical. I actually don't have a new foundation to test out with y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and quickly apply that, and then we will come back with concealer. Now moving on to the concealer that has quickly become my favorite. I'm so mad that I had that sty because I really wanted to post a like wear test review whenever I first received this foundation and like test it out for a week, because it is so good. Even if you have dry under eyes, I have been loving it. I think it really just kind of depends what setting powder you use on top of it. So this is another Huda Beauty product. This is their Overachiever Concealer. It did come with a sponge and I believe a brush, but I've just been using it with a normal like beauty blender or Flower Beauty sponge. And then I will use the sponge that they provided to use with powder, because something about the sponge and powder is absolute magic. So once you remove the cap on the concealer, you have this really cool kind of like cooling, well, it's cooling because it's like metal like this. When it touches your skin, it's just very cool and refreshing. So you just squeeze out a tiny bit of concealer. I've been using the shade 6G Nougat. You really only need a little bit of this. So I will squeeze out some of the product and then use the tip to kind of place the concealer where I'd like it. So I like to work on one side at a time. It doesn't dry down super fast, but I just like being able to take the time to kind of press it in with my finger first and then go in with a sponge. I have a really watery eyes. Like if anything brushes up against my eyelashes or anything, it's basically like Niagara Falls. My eye goes crazy. I've used the Born This Way concealer. I've used the I've used Max. What was the concealer that we were all obsessed with? I can't even think of the name of it now. The one that came in the pump, I've used that. I mean, I've used so many different concealers, Tarte Shape Tape, and anytime that my eye watered, it would kind of like disrupt the powder and the concealer under my eyes. This concealer does not budge. I'm convinced you could go swimming in it because my eyes were watering like crazy. I was like sneezing after the puppies left and the concealer did not move. It just stayed in place. I don't know how, but I appreciate it. I'm not going to question it because it just works. So then taking my damp beauty blender, I'm just going to go in and begin pressing the concealer into my skin. Wow, I'm really going to have to bronze up my face. The foundation that I used was, well, the foundation and the concealer was probably a little bit light, but we're just going to make it work. Now the powder that seals the deal with this concealer, these two were just meant for each other. They just work. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I have been loving this powder with pretty much every concealer, but the way that it works with the Huda Beauty concealer is unreal. It just keeps it locked and loaded. It is so good. So as you can see, the sponge does have like a nice slanted cut to it. So I will just pick up a little bit of that powder here on the sponge and I kind of just like tap it into the palm of my hand. And then I always like to work against the grain of my fine lines on my under eyes. So I'm just gonna go against first, and then I'm gonna come back out. I'm also going to press on the sides of my nose, because if anywhere gets oily on my face, it's always my nose. This isn't new, but I haven't heard too many people talk about this bronzer, and I've been loving it. It's from Laura Geller. It's their Beach Matte Baked Hydrating Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Sunset Deep. I'm just taking this massive brush from the brand Velvet, and I am just gonna swirl my brush in here. I'm not really looking to like fully contour. I just really want to add some warmth back into my face so I can hopefully match my neck and chest a little bit better. I'm not gonna dip any more into the bronzer, but I'm just gonna sweep a little bit here on the tops. That way my under eyes don't look so white. Wow, this brush is really wanting to shed. Okay, taking another one of the NARS Holiday Cheek Palettes. This is the Hot Tryst Cheek Palette, and inside, these colors are so pretty. I've actually only used one so far, and it's one of the highlighters. I haven't gone in to use any of the blushes. Go ahead and mix these two shades here since they're not quite as like pink. I want something a little bit more like natural. I have always been a huge fan of the NARS cheek palettes. I mean, all the way back to the NARS Mari palette. That one is so good. You get 6 products. They last you forever. They're perfect to travel with because you get like blushes and highlighters in one. And it's just a great value. I want to say this is anywhere from $55 to $60 maybe. This is from the Urban Decay Naked Cherry collection. It's the all-nighter, which I love, but it's cherry scented. I'm not quite sure about that because anything that's like artificial cherry scented just reminds me of, is it 𝗟𝗘𝗧'𝗦, that cough medicine, which I can't stand, but I love the formula of all-nighter. I think it is so, so good. So here's the packaging. It's like the perfect little travel size. It's so cute. Ooh, that would be pretty as an eyeshadow. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, there we go. Spritz my face. Okay. I do smell cherry, but it's not overwhelming, so I'm okay with it. I'm pretty sure All Nighter was actually my very first setting spray ever. And then I am going to mist my brush a bit. This is my favorite highlighting brush. It's the Morphe M 500. I did a video all about like my essential brushes, and this one was in there because I always use it. So I'm just gonna take a teeny tiny bit of that highlighter and oh, it's beautiful. I'm not surprised. NARS highlighters are always so pretty. I've been loving that, what is it? Is it Port de France or Fort de France? No, it's Port de France. For my lower lash line, I do want to go in with a little bit of eyeliner just to smoke it out a touch. This is also from the, if I can get it, Urban Decay Naked Cherry collection. This is one of their 24/7 glide-on pencils in the shade Love Drug. It is so pretty, and I feel like it goes perfect with this eye look. I know, some of y'all are probably like, why would you ever want to add something like red or purple on your lower lash line? Doesn't that just make you look sick? But I think with this eye look, it's really pretty. And then just grabbing a pencil brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Solar, the one in the middle, just to add a little bit of shimmer and just kind of run that right on top of the liner that I just applied. Okay, so these are from Bobbi Brown. The packaging of these are so, so luxe. So there's actually 4 different formulas. You have the liquid velvet lip colors, and then I think these are called the High Shine, Luxe Liquid High Shine. So the way you can tell the difference if you're shopping in store is the High Shines have like a glossy lid, whereas the velvets have more of like kind of a brushed metal lid. But even the lower half of these, they're glass. They're not plastic like a typical liquid lipstick. I mean, they're heavy. That's the only downside whenever you have like a couple of these in your purse, because I'm a crazy person and I like to carry like at least 15 options in my purse. The only problem is whenever I receive these in PR, the stickers on the velvet ones were missing. But when I look at the shades online, I'm pretty sure this one is called, it's something Rose. It may be Follow Your Rose. I'll go ahead and link it down below. Tomboy looks pretty close, but from the swatch online, that one looks like it's more beige, whereas this one definitely has like a bit of pink to it. So I'm guessing it is the Rose one, but both colors do look absolutely stunning, at least online. So before I go in with this, I am going to line my lips. I know I have said before that I've kind of been over the whole matte lip trend. I don't know, I just really, really like glosses, but I love these because you can apply gloss on top and it doesn't like disrupt the formula at all, besides going from matte to glossy. But you know, sometimes you can add a gloss on top of a matte liquid lip and it kind of like makes the liquid lip like shift everywhere, or if your hair gets caught in it, it like blows all over your face. This one doesn't do that. The gloss may move around, but the actual like liquid lipstick base stays in place. Here is the applicator. You just have a really nice big fuzzy doe foot. It's one of those like shapes, kind of like the Huda sponge, where it has a really nice slant to it, but then it also has a sharp point where you can really go in around the sides of your lips. So let me just show y'all. These are so freaking opaque. Like one swipe, it's full color. They're so, so pretty. And look at this color here for the summer with a tan. Doesn't this look so fun? I almost feel a little bit bad for my other lipsticks because I feel like this is the only lip color that I've been wearing nonstop for at least the last month. I just think it is such a pretty everyday color. But yeah, that is it for this video. I know it was a long one, but I really missed you guys and just wanted to sit down and chat and get ready. I hope you guys have all been having an amazing week so far. Let me know if you're interested in any of these products. I'm telling you, if you have like hazel or brown eyes and you love like plummy shadows, I really think this is one worth checking out. I just really love this glitter formula on the top row. They're just nice because you don't have to go in with any sort of glitter glue. There's no issues with fallouts. You get glitter shadows, you get metallics, you get mattes. It's just a really, really pretty palette. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I would love to have you here for future videos. And yeah, I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.